Okay, today's question is from our friend Crystal. Crystal Ash, kind of a long one. We share information across several platforms: Flocknote, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and to our website. And obviously, as a parish, have quite a bit to communicate with various events, fundraisers, offertory reminders, etc. We keep Flocknote fresh and avoid weekly repetition, but what's the right balance of sharing across all of the platforms to be sure to remind people enough, but without those reminders becoming white noise? In other words, how much frequency is enough without being too much? Kind of a broad question.
Yeah, great question, Crystal. And the fact that you're asking it is I think really important because it means you're being sensitive to not sending too much stuff. So I think that's one of the things common mistakes we see is churches kind of not caring about that. Well, it's all good information. Just send it all out there. If people want it, they'll consume it. If they don't, they won't. But you can become very ineffective at communicating. And like you said, a lot of it can start to become white noise. So we see that example like with the announcements. The announcements a lot of times on Sunday end up as kind of white noise for people, similar with the bulletin, because as soon as they click in, we've trained them that most of it's not for us. We've trained them that, it's maybe a little longer than we care for, we're ready to go. And so we just tune it out and start moving on in our minds to the next thing. And so the same thing happens with every one of those channels you mentioned. The trouble is there's not an easy answer. It's one of those it depends answers. And we actually did a show on this topic last season. So go back to season 1 of the Finding You Know show, and you'll see a show in there where we talk about, how much to send, how often to send is a healthy amount, how much is too much, and we discuss that a little bit. So I would definitely recommend everyone checking that out if this is something you're interested in. But in general, a quick answer is we have to say a lot less in general. We're saying too much, and we have to make the communications we do send a lot better. Because if you think about what our members are receiving, they get so much information on every one of those channels. And so if it's not high quality, it's not going to stand out, and it's going to just add to the noise. So the noise will remain. We can either choose to add to the noise and continue to be ignored, or we can find creative ways to stand out from it. And one of the ways you stand out is you got to send higher quality communication. So you're always saying, well, what's the best of the stuff we're going to send? Like, spend some time making this entertaining, interesting, packed with value. But it also means you got to prioritize information. So you got to cut out probably a lot of the things you're used to saying, because if they're not reading any of it, it doesn't really matter if you're saying it all anyways. But if you train them that when they do open an email from you or get a communication from you, that it's short and it's always really important stuff, then you're going to train them to always open your emails. If it's always long, then you're going to train them to come back to your email later because I don't have time to read it right now. And of course, they rarely come back to it. So, and again, it also depends on the event, right? So if it's a particular event, sending out a reminder the night before is a great idea. But if it's your regular announcements or it's some other ministry promotion thing you have going on, you need to be more deliberate about, we're not going to promote this every single Sunday in the bulletin. You see that a lot. You have like the same announcement in the bulletin in the same spot, saying the same thing. And of course, what that becomes to people is visual white noise. They don't even see it there anymore. So you could change something in that spot and they don't even notice it because they're used to just passing over it. But like the event's a good, another tactic is you need to make sure you're segmenting information. So if you're reminding people about an event, you shouldn't be reminding everyone about the event. You should be reminding the people that are coming to the event about the event. So that's, again, something we help you do in Flocknote is segment your list to the groups that really matter. If you're making an announcement about, the women's prayer group, like it shouldn't be going to men. It should be going to the women's prayer group. It shouldn't be going to everybody. It shouldn't be announced on Sunday. It should be sent to just the folks who need it and who need to hear it. Because otherwise people, again, get used to realizing that most of the things you're telling me are not for me, they're for somebody else. So segmentation, prioritization, and improving your quality. But then also look at your data rate. So if you're looking at, what are my open rates? Are they going up? Are they going down? What can I do to try to get my open rates back up? If you're looking at email where you can track that sort of thing, that can give you an indication is this continuing to be white noise, or am I saying something that's really standing out this time? And you see the open rates go up, So again, we've got some other episodes that help you with subjects, writing good subject lines, getting good open rates, all that kind of thing. But a short-ish answer. There's a lot more to be said on that, but it's great that you're thinking about that, because then you can start to address it and really hopefully improve the way you're communicating.